We bike. Was good. About an hour later, we are back at it. Let's see what this episode has in store for us. Gonna put that full screen on. I think it should be better now. If it's not, then I don't care. She made a circle with both hands, restlessly intertwined, separating them. Apparently, the dramatic progress Jessica had looked forward to hadn't happened, but it seemed to have been a very important experience for Shannon in her own way. In the end, whether Jessica was jealous of Shannon or made fun of her, it didn't change the fact that Shannon had a huge lead on her.
私も彼氏欲しい。シャノンに先を越されたのが悔しい。彼氏作るときは一緒だぜって約束したのに抜け駆けされた。
Damn, I hate to see that.
お嬢様は素敵な方ですから、私なんかよりきっと素敵な方がすぐに現れます。
そういう慰めはいらねえぜ。シャノンの裏切り者、出ていけ。
Jessica threw several cushions at her, but midway she had an asthma attack and started to choke pretty badly. Shannon hurriedly ran over to a nearby side table and started searching around on top of it. A cute basket was placed there, and inside of it was Jessica's bronchodilator. Shannon picked it up and handed it over to Jessica. Jessica's asthma attacks always came suddenly. Because of that, she always needed to carry this medicine around. She breathed in the medicine, and after a while, managed to overcome her choking as her asthma finally settled down. Shannon thought this a good chance to leave and try to exit the room after bowing courteously. As she did, one more small cushion came flying and hit Shannon on the head. She noticed that Jessica was on the verge of crying, half of her face buried in her last and favorite cushion. That face was red and meek.
お嬢様？
シャノンさ、正直に言って、私、髪型とか変かな。
まさか。お嬢様の髪はとてもお美しいと思います。
じゃあ、目とか変かな。鼻とか変じゃないかな。やっぱり喋り方がダメなのかな。だから彼氏できないのかな。
そんなはずはありませんよ。お嬢様は
Them boys
そのままで
tripping.
十分に素敵で
Jessica's
す。
great, dude.
そしてその魅
Exactly.
力は
Shannon's speaking the
これか
gospel
らも
right
っと
now.
もっと増していくと思いますよ。
You don't have to be overly feminine.
私だけ彼氏できない。サクもヒナも彼氏できたのに、私にだけできないよ。やっぱり私には魅力ないからかな。みんなね。
I'd say you have the most charm out of any of these
文化
girls.
祭に彼氏連れてくるんだって。私もその日までにはきっと彼氏いるって思って大見え切って彼氏だってできやしない。私だけ
Before she realized it, Jessica was shedding huge tears. Jessica didn't really feel like crying, and of course she felt like supporting Shannon's progress and love as a friend. However, as she cheered Shannon on, her true feelings had suddenly gotten mixed in. She couldn't help but shed tears. Shannon understood Jessica's innocent and easily injured heart. The rough style of speech Jessica usually used was all just an attempt to protect that fragile heart. As the daughter and successor to the Ushiromiya family, and as a girl isolated on Orokunjima, the only person she could expose her feelings to was Shannon. Shannon understood that, so she strongly regretted acting smug, even if it was only a little.
涙出ちゃうなんて私変だぜ。ごめん。
お嬢様は素敵な方です。そんなお嬢様に素敵な男性が現れないわけがありません。
Don't worry about it, girl.
シャノン、も
You good?
う時間だろ。早く行かないと また現地さんや母さんに怒られるぜ。私は全然平気だから早く行きなよ。悪いな、泣いちゃったりなんかしてさ、バカみてえだぜ私。
Jessica faced away, acting as though she didn't really want to trouble Shannon, waving her hand as though chasing Shannon away. Shannon took that as a sign that Jessica didn't want to be bothered anymore, bowed her head, and left the room. When Shannon's footsteps disappeared into the distance, Jessica lay down on her bed, still hugging a cushion. Her expression was still a little meek, with tears in her eyes. But for the first time in a long time, she had a very, very quiet and honest conversation with her heart.
私も恋がしたい。
So is that what this chapter's theme is centered around? Love, feelings, emotions. As Shannon happily watered the flower beds in the garden, she sensed someone's presence. She turned around, thinking that if one of the family had come to visit, she must greet them. But what she saw was that witch.
ベアトリーチェ様。
久しぶりよの。どうだ？その後、そなたの思い人との仲は順調か？
As Beatrice sat on the rose ark, she happily blew on her pipe. Sitting in a place like that would crush the roses, and it might have been dangerous if the arch fell over. But this was a witch after all. Showing concern for her safety was probably a waste of time.
はい、おかげさまで順調です。
当然よ。わらわの魔法はてきめんである。そなたにはまるで二人が出会うのはあらかじめ決められた運命であったかのように感じているかもしれぬ。だがそれは間違いよ。夢運命だなどと思うでないぞ。
それは分かってます。
The witch was calling attention to something. Two things, actually. First, that Shannon's relationship with George was a fate that'd be absolutely impossible under normal circumstances. Second, that the power of the witch was great enough to overturn that fact. Shannon had just gotten wrapped up in those sweet days, and had started believing the illusion that all fate revolved around her. But she remembered the witch's words. Originally, her relationship with George had been impossible. No, it might be impossible in the future as well.
すまぬすまぬ。医者と同じよ。病に悩めばすがるくせに、治れば感謝も忘れる。魔女が感謝された試しはないのでな。つい卑屈になってしまった。許すがいい。
感謝の気持ちを忘れたことはありません。ベアトリーチェ様のお力で幸せな思いができていること、そしてそのお力がなければ私とジョージ様が寄り添う運命がなかったこと、決して忘れたことはありません。
すまぬすまぬ。いじめに来たわけではないのにな。口が悪いのはわらわが性分。許されよ。それより聞いたぞ二人きりで旅行に行ったとな。さぞや楽しかったであろう。
はい、とても楽しかったです。
Shannon's face suddenly lit up. The witch laughed lightly, as though amused by the speed of that transformation.
もはやそなたの思い人は一方的に思うだけの存在ではない。互いに思われる恋人同士よ。愛に満たされた二人にとって世界はただそれだけで成立する素晴らしき理想の世界かな。魔女も夜行というもの。
Beatrice laughed pleasantly. That smile had made her look as though she blessed a lover's rendezvous from the bottom of her heart without a trace of malice. After that day, Beatrice had shown herself before Shannon every once in a while. Even now, Shannon thought of her as an unsettling being. However, she was also indebted to this person for the magic that led her to her current relationship with George, so Shannon tried with all her might not to act as surprised as scared.
そうだった。ベアトリーチェ様、旅行のお土産にお菓子を買ってきたんです。よかったらベアトリーチェ様もいかがでしょうか。
ほう、魔女に
does like ice
土
cream.
産とな。
It seemed that even the witch who boasted of living for 1,000 years hadn't imagined that she'd receive a souvenir from a sweet lover's trip. When she saw that surprised expression, Shannon thought of this witch as a friend for the first time. Was it ice cream though?
ほうほう。
Oh,
ラードと小麦粉で作った東洋クッキーか。
the best
それを西
OST.
洋風にチョコで包む
Let's
と
go.
は、まさに和洋折衷、菓子のシルクロードよな。なんだ、何がおかしい？
I like that. Oh man, I kinda want to take a screenshot of that. Hold on. Shit, I might press skip by accident. I'll be pretty mad if that happens. Oh. Oh. Okay, I did it. Drag. Clip. Shit. Shit, what happened? This wasn't part of the plan. I just wanted a funny reaction image. It was sweet. But this is not sweet. What's going on? Nah, dead ass, what's going on though? Okay. Let's try that one more time.
失礼いたしました。
Shit! I knew it. I knew
しそうに
it.
なったぞ。
God damn it. God damn it. Okay, hold on. Is it H? Or it is H. Okay. Oh, hell no. I just wanted to. Alright. What's the fun? Sweet. Okay. Wow, that was disappointing. I just wanted to take a screenshot, man. Whatever. Immersion ruined. Sigh. Sniff. Alright.
そなたには今度ネロのドルチェビータでも振る舞おうぞ。バラは永遠の愛の象徴。今のそなたにはバラのドルチェこそがふさわしかろう。
The witch was in a great mood, fully enjoying modern candy.
これ本当にありがとうございました。もう私には十分だと思いますのでお返しします。
The thing Shannon had softly set on the table was a gold-colored butterfly brooch.
返さずともよい。それに持ち続けていれば二人の仲はこれからも永遠に盤石であろうが。
I'll take note of that.
出会いのきっかけは確かに魔法の力で与えてもらったかもしれません。でもその出会いを永遠のものにする努力は二人で協力し合って続けていくものだと思います。
うん。愛もバラと同じか。過ぎた世日は根を腐らせる。苦労せねば育めぬ花もあろう。ならば好きにするがよい。身につけず宝石箱の中にしまうもよかろう。それはそなたに送ったわらわの行為だ。それを返されてはわらわも愉快ではない。
申し訳ございません。そういう意味で言ったわけじゃ。
気を害してなどおらぬ。そのブローチは すでにそなたのもの。わらわとの友情の証にせいぜい大事にしてくれれば少しは気も慰む。持ち続け、そのご利益を得るもよし、宝石箱にしまい込むもよし、望むなら恋路に悩む別のものに譲ろうと、そなたの勝手だ。ただ大事にしてくれればよい。さすがに粗末にされては心が痛むでな。
According to Beatrice, she had already appeared several times in the past in response to a person's summons to give them some tool imbued with magical power. However, when most people used that power to resolve their worries, they quickly grew unsettled by it, forgot their former gratitude, and threw away the tools they had been given with disgust.
だからわらわの行為に素直に感謝された試しは多くない。いや、初めてか。
The witch laughed heartily, but it looked like a sad laugh in Shannon's eyes. She herself had been like that in the past. No, maybe she was still like that now. Beatrice was definitely a witch, with a strange and terrifying power. Most people probably wouldn't want to stick around her if they could help it. Surely, even those who had relied on that strange power sometimes felt fear rather than gratitude as a result. It must have deeply hurt the witch to have that happen over and over. Since the time she had started thinking that way, Shannon had tried to stop being frightened of Beatrice. This was surely something that had tormented the witch for over 1,000 years. Maybe she really liked those sweets. Beatrice, who normally spoke abusively, praised the black tea that Shannon served her and looked to be in a remarkably high spirits. After doing that for a while, the witch and the servant grew animated in a discussion with the Triple George. The things Shannon actually knew about Beatrice were surprisingly few. First off, she was a ghost-like being who appeared in unexpected places and unexpected times. It seemed that not everyone could perceive that she was there. Apparently, everyone has something called a wavelength, and the ability to perceive witches varies greatly among different people. Only Shannon and Cannon could interact with her enough to exchange words like this. There were a few people who could sense her presence, but most people couldn't even feel that much. From what Beatrice said, Kraus and his wife in particular had zero magical talent, and no matter how much she followed them around, they would never notice her. Once earlier, when Shannon messed up and Natsuhi got really mad at her, Beatrice had started playing around, hitting Natsuhi on the head with her pipe. I see, Natsuhi really doesn't notice a thing. But Shannon, watching that, had burst out laughing without thinking, and had gotten scolded even more.
なら、親方様だったらどうでしょうか。魔法の研究とかをなさっているそうですし、きっとベアトリーチェ様のお姿にも気づいてくださると思います。
金蔵も同じよ。あれにも気の毒なくらいに魔法の才能がない血だな。同情に値するほど才能がない。
As soon as they started talking about Kinzo, it felt like the atmosphere around Beatrice changed. She had spoken about Kraus and the rest's lack of magical talent as though she looked down on them, but she spoke of Kinzo in a different way. Anyone connected to the Ushiromiya family would know about Kinzo's legend of the gold. According to that, Kinzo was given the gold after summoning the witch, Beatrice. In other words, she must have some kind of relationship with Kinzo.
だからあれは才能のひとかけらもないくせに至ったのだ。狂ったように独学を重ね、魔術師の域にまで達した。
それはとてもすごいことなんですね。
The witch, who usually looked down on people, was uncharacteristically offering her praise. While she lambasted him by saying he had no talent, she praised his efforts.
そして親方様は魔法の力でベアトリーチェ様を呼び出した。
まあ召喚に応えたのは気まぐれだ。魔法を否定して久しいこのご時世に才能のかけらもない者が必死にやっているのでな。少しからかってやろうと思ったのがわらわの運の尽きよ。
Her choice of words highlighted how much of a disaster this had been for her. Shannon hesitated over whether it would be safe to continue this discussion, but Beatrice continued it on her own, ignoring Shannon.
一応書式もルールも揃っていた。いくつかの作法が混在していたが、まあその熱意に免じ寛大に契約に応じてやったのだ。そしてわらわは山なす黄金を与えてやった。
そして親方様はその黄金を使って事業を成功させ、今日の財をなすのですね。
うん。魔法の才能はからっきしだが、詳細と莫細はあったようだな。いや、理不尽なる賭けに全て落とす勇気と狂気ゆえにか。狂気は時に魔力に通ずる。なるほど。その点から見れば金蔵に魔法の才能が全くなかったとは言い切れんか。
Shannon felt like she was daydreaming. While everyone in the Ushiromiya family knew the story of how Kinzo idolized black magic, summoned the witch, and received the gold, in actuality, it was rambling that no one actually believed in. And now, Shannon was having this story confirmed by the witch itself. She felt a little flustered by this incredible secret that only she knew.
そして莫大な財産を得た金蔵は人の世で手に入れることのできる全ての夢を叶えきった。そして最後に世界の真理を求めたのだ。
世界の真理？
世界を構成する一なる元素、人の世で得られる全てを満たした金蔵は人が求める最後の欲望としてそれを欲したのだ。
The single element. She seemed to remember the witch using that word before. Beatrice saw Shannon trying to remember what that was. She laughed bitterly, waving her hand and saying there was no need to worry.
わらわも金蔵を少し見くびっていた。まさかあれほどの力を見せるとは思わなかったのでな。おかげでこのざまだ。茶飲み友達もなく、この島にもう何十年も縫い止められている。誰に話しかけようとも声は届かず、どこへ行くこともできない。なんとも退屈な数十年だったことよ。
As she laughed in self-derision, she tapped the teacup with her finger, made the light sound of pottery. Shannon didn't know whether the word self-derision was really an accurate expression to describe the look on the witch's face. Shannon didn't understand everything, but she could more or less figure out the situation. It was probably a topic that she couldn't press the witch on easily, not unless the witch started talking about it herself. To sum up everything she said up until now, Beatrice, who had been summoned by Kinzo's magic, could not leave this island for some reason, and she had lost her power and her form, living her days in boredom. During that time, her words had reached Shannon, who never forgot to show sincere respect for the witch, and Shannon had helped the witch regain her power, if only a little bit. As a result, it was now possible for the witch to drink tea with Shannon like this.
ベアトリーチェ様が私に割るように言ったあの鏡は一体何なのですか？
ああ、その話か。この辺りの島で大昔いろいろとあったらしくてな。そのせいで良くないものがたまり、悪い歪みを引き寄せていたのだ。それを旅の東洋魔術師か何かが鎮魂の社を建立して封じ込めたらしい。それ自体はわらわとはどうでもいいことなのだが、困ったことに魔力の基礎が違っててな。わらわの魔力にも強い干渉を及ぼしておって非常に迷惑していたのだ。
そうだったんですか。私はてっきりベアトリーチェ様を封じていたものだとばかり。
わらわを対象にしたものではない。だが神格のある鏡だったからな。結果としてわらわの力を封じ込めていたわけだ。料理に例えるならこうか。わらわの注文した西洋料理が厨房でまさに料理されているとする。ところがいざ配膳しようとしたら、客席は日本風で懐石料理が並べられている場だった。 だから厨房は場違いな皿を出せず、わらわのところへはいつまでたっても西洋料理が届かないといった感じよの。だからそなたに日本風の客席を打ち壊し、場を一度白紙に戻させたのだ。そのおかげでようやくわらわの注文した料理が届き、力が戻ったというところか。もっともようやく食前酒が届いたというところよ。メインディッシュにはまだまだ遠い。今のわらわなど靴屋の妖精にも劣る希薄な存在でな。何がおかしい？
魔女様の例えがあまりに面白かったもので、まさか魔法の話がお料理の話に例えられるとは思いませんでした。
我ながらうまい表現だったつもりだが、よもや笑われるとは思わなかったぞ。少し心外だ。
A slightly sulky expression rose to the witch's face. It wasn't a strange expression at all to be appearing on the face of some friends as they enjoyed their tea.
こう見えても昔は残酷極まりないことで知られたわらわだったが丸くなったものよ。人間とこうして他愛ない話で茶を交わせるようになるのだから。
She was probably talking to herself. As Beatrice gazed at the seabirds tracing the horizon, she put her tea to her lips.
雲が出てきたな。海も精彩をかけば灰色の水たまりに過ぎぬ。
そうでしょうか。曇っても海は美しくて真っ青だと思います。
Maybe the witch noticed the deep meaning behind Shannon's words. She laughed lightly and set down her empty teacup.
もはやそなたの両目に埋められているのは黒い石ころではないらしい。どうだ、家具から人間に生まれ変わった気持ちは理解できておるか？
はい。世界がこんなにも優しかったなんて知りませんでした。
Since the start of her relationship with George, Shannon's face had grown brighter more often. Her smile had made everything go smoothly and had even changed her fortune. Shannon made less mistakes on her work than she had before, and the family members' opinion of her was slowly starting to change. Just the other day, she had been surprised when Kraus, who rarely exchanged words with her, suddenly started talking to her.
最近いい笑顔をすることが多くなったじゃないか。何か良いことでもあったのかね。
いえ、でも楽しい毎日です。はい。
良いことじゃないか。同じコーヒーなら笑顔で継がれた方がうまいに決まっている。その笑顔でもう一杯頼めんかね。
はい。
That had become a chance for Shannon to gain confidence in herself. Of course, it didn't go beyond her own heart, and it wasn't so big a change that anyone would notice, but she had begun to change, bit by bit. Shannon understood it clearly. Knowing love was the same as gaining a soul, the same as being reborn, from furniture into a human. There was absolutely nothing mistaken in Beatrice's words. By knowing love, Shannon had learned what it was to be human.
珍しい茶化をしそうになったな。有意義な時間であった。そろそろ仕事に戻らねばならぬ時間であろう。茶会はこれまでにしよう。そなたとわらわが茶を飲むことを好かん者もおるようで
Someone
な。
watching.
え？
Oh, hell no. Canon. After that, it was launched by the fingers of some invisible person and flew straight into a nearby bush. Yep. The bush shook violently, and Cannon came out. It seemed he had been there for some time, watching their tea party. The spoon was gripped in his hand. Damn, If he hadn't caught it in an instant, it might have hit him hard in the forehead and caused him to start oozing blood.
安心せよ。茶会はこれで終わるぞ、カノン。
いつからそこにいたの？声をかけてくれればカノン君の紅茶も入れたのに。
女同士の語らいを邪魔したくなかったのであろう。
Cannon kept silent, but there seemed to be a slightly hostile look in his eyes. On the outside, he acted with respect, but unlike Shannon, Cannon did not trust the witch. When Beatrice hit the table with her pipe, the tea set turned into gold butterflies, which flew upwards all at once. They then scattered in every direction, and the cleanup was already done.
楽しかったぞ、シャノン。また縁があれば会おうぞ。まだまだ魔力が足りぬでな。姿を現すのも疲れる。
そんなに疲れるなら二度と現れるな。
Cannon had said it in a small voice, but the witch seemed to have heard it perfectly. She giggled, but did not reply.
シャノン、次の茶会ではジョージとの話をまた聞かせておくれ。人の恋路より甘い茶花は他にない。それではさらばだ。
Goodbye. Beatrice's body had also become gold butterflies, which scattered in all directions and disappeared. It was a fantastical and beautiful scene, like a blizzard of gold leaf. For a while, Shannon quietly watched the witch's exit. Cannon approached her from behind and spoke with an expression that was drastically different from hers.
姉さん、あいつと付き合っちゃダメだって言ったじゃないか。
ベアトリーチェ様はそんなに悪い人じゃない。確かにちょっと怪しいところはあるけれど。
僕たちにしか姿が見えない時点で十分にうさんくさいよ。あいつは人間じゃない。何を企んでるかわかるものか。
カノン君、それは少し失礼だと思うな。
There was a touch of sternness in Shannon's voice, which was unusual for her. To Cannon, who knew her well, she must have sounded extremely stern. Cannon, looking excessively surprised considering Shannon's tone, fell silent.
確かにベアトリーチェ
See,
様
I
は
don't completely
人
trust
間と
Beatrice
は
either,
違
but she's
う
cool.
恐ろしい力を持っているし、恐れ敬わなければならない存在だと思う。でも人間とは違うからといってそれだけを理由に意
It's a
味
little
嫌う
messed
の
up,
は
man.
とても失礼なことだと思うの。
Shannon speaking facts.
姉さんの言いたいことはわかるよ。姉さんはあいつにあのブローチをもらってから変わった。まるで魔女
It's
の
okay
虜
to
だ
be
よ。
wary of her, but
ジ
you
ョ
don't
ージ
have to
様と
be
の
a
仲を取り持ってもらって
dickhead.
頭が上がらないんだ。
そんなことを言わないで。
あいつは人間じゃない。
Damn, I hate it when his expressions like that. That scared me.
だから気を許しちゃダメなんだ。そして人間じゃないのは僕らも同じだよ、姉さん。
Furniture. Cannon's words grew more serious. Those words probably gouged at Shannon's heart. She bit her lower lip on her head.
僕らは家具だ。たとえ名前をもらい人として接してもらったとしても僕たちの生まれが変わるわけじゃない。
You are no longer furniture. Those words Beatrice had given her, which made her happiest, floated through Shannon's mind.
家具じゃないよ。
家具だよ。僕たちは人間未満の存在だよ。姉さんはそこを忘れたふりをして人間のふりをしているだけ。自分でも分かっているはずだよ。
私家具じゃないもん。人間だもん。
いや人間じゃない。僕らには愛する資格も愛される資格も初めからない。
Cannon's criticism seemed to have shifted away from Shannon's meetings with the witch. Shannon picked up on that quickly.
お嬢様に聞いたよ。正直呆れたね。ジョージ様と一緒に 旅行に出られるなんて家具の身の程を忘れてるよ。姉さんはあの魔女にそそのかされて自分が人間になれたと勘違いしてるだけなんだよ。
聞いてカノン君、確かに私たちは家具だよ。人間味を取った未満の存在。でもその満たない分をもし得られたなら、それは人間になれたということじゃないのかな。
そんなものありはしないよ。
あるの。それを得たなら私たちは家具なんかじゃない人間になれるよ。
バカバカしい。なれるものか。
Cannon spat those words out, but did so weakly and turned away. He was probably giving up. After all the suffering he'd undergone during those days he lived as furniture, his heart was firmly sealed.
なれるよ、カノン君も普通の人間に。
よしてよ、魔女の受け売りは。
ベアトリーチェ様に教えてもらったの。私たちは世界の一なる元素を得ることで人間になることができる。それを満たさないならそれは人間じゃない。だから人は一なる元素を得るために生涯を尽くし貫いていく。
姉さんが何を言っているのかわからないね。よまよい事なら聞きたくないよ。
ならカノン君にも分かるように教えてあげるね。ほら、姉さんの指の先を見て。
Shannon quietly pointed out the sea, towards the horizon. Cannon didn't understand what she meant and couldn't do anything except look between the horizon and Shannon's expression, which seemed to
Umi.
hope.
カノン君は海が何色に見える？
It was an extremely simple question. For a while, Cannon tried to guess at the meaning behind it. But he couldn't think of anything, so he answered obediently.
パッとしない。ネズミ色だよ。それが何？
Objectively speaking, the sea, laid up beneath a cloudy sky, could probably be described best by Cannon's words. But as Shannon closed her eyes and smiled, she shook her head slightly.
私には真っ青に見える。
そういう意味？緑色の信号を青っていうようなものでしょ。
違うの。海は真っ青。私には分かってカノン君には分からないなら、これがつまりそういうことなの。
Cannon bit his lower lip and was silent for a while.
わからないよ、僕には。
カノン君、手を出して。
As Cannon was taken aback, unable to understand what she was saying, she took his arm and opened the palm of his hand. Shannon softly said something there. The brooch. It was the magic brooch she had received from Beatrice. Magic charm, shaped like a gold butterfly, that could bring love to fruition.
これは
I was expecting
あいつの。
to come from Jessica, or her to
こ
give
れ
it
は
to
私
Jessica,
の
or
だ
keep
か
it.
ら私だと思
Wow,
って
I did not.
粗末にしないで。
Wow. Shannon's gonna be the first one dead. After being spoken to like that, he couldn't just throw it away. Cannon didn't know what she would do. What he should do. He sat there confused for a while, with the brooch at the palm of his hand. Shannon put the palm of her hand on top of Cannon's, and the brooch was worn by both of their hands.
これは本当の魔法の力を持ったお守り。きっとカノン君に大切な気持ちを教えてくれると思う。
あいつの魔法で教えられることなんて何もない。
あるの。だから身につけて。恥ずかしければ懐に忍ばせておくだけでもいいそうなの。
バカバカしい。あいつの魔法なんかに惑わされてたまるか。
Even as he said that, Cannon couldn't be cold-hearted towards something Shannon was urging him to take. In the end, Cannon took it and agreed reluctantly, saying he'd prove that he wouldn't surrender to the witch's power. Shannon smiled and nodded back.
きっと カノン君は大切なことを学べるよ。きっと人間になれるから。そうすればきっとカノン君にもこの海が美しい青に見えるに違いない。
ネズミ色は何度見たってネズミ色さ。
So is this a
違うよカノン君。そう見えるのは愛がないから。
Aini. Aini. Because of the howling wind, he hadn't been able to catch the main point of what she just said. So Shannon said it once more. A single element of the world. She spoke once more of the world where it existed, where the sea was deep blue.
きっとカノン君にも真っ青な海が見えるよ。だって
Without love, it cannot be seen. Isn't that the name of that chapter or something? It's the name of something. I don't know. Without love, it cannot be seen. Sounds familiar.
そこにいるのは誰か。
カノンです、親方様。
It was rare for Kinzo to leave his study. However, the fact that he didn't mean his noble research has been suspended. He may have left the study because of a change in mood, but that didn't mean the thoughts filling his head were any different from those he had while inside the study. Kennen knew that no matter what the time, speaking to Kinzo when he didn't want to be spoken to would always disturb his research.
天気が重いな。崩れるのか。
Who knows?
はい。天気予報ではいつ雨があってもおかしくないと。
Oh.
傘をお持ちいたしましょうか。
Whoops.
それには及ばん。しばらく私を放っておくがいい。
Pause it. What the
息子たちに聞かれても所在は知らぬと言っておけ。私は自らの思考を巡る旅で忙しい。
かしこまりました。それでは失礼いたします。
Before Kennen finished bowing, Kinzo had already returned to his own world, having forgotten Kennen's presence completely. Once again, he began rambling to himself. Amidst those words, the name of that witch popped up many times.
ベアトリーチ、お前の微笑みに手が届かぬ。どうすればよみがえるのか。どうすれば再び微笑んでくれるのか。何が足りぬ。研究か資料か触媒か、それとも魔力か運気か神託か。ああ、ベアトリーチェ、どうすればお前の面影をもう一度見ることができるのだ。
This nigga's always having a cathartic experience every damn time he's talking about it. Come on, man. Wait. What? Wait. Wait. As Kennen listened to his master's weeping voice with his back turned, he turned around just once. When he did, right behind his isolated old master, was the shadow of a person who shouldn't have been there. It was the witch. At once, thinking that the witch must be plotting to do Kinzo some harm, Kennen dashed back to Kinzo and tried to form a shield with his body. But when he saw the expression on the witch's face, that emotion of his vanished. After all, Beatrice's expression was sorrowful, or maybe pitying.
愚かな金蔵、わらわはここにいるというのに見えぬのか。
Right behind Kinzo, as he repeated the witch's name over and over, desiring to be reunited with her more than anything else, was the witch herself. And yet, Kinzo doesn't notice anything. When Beatrice tried to rest her hand on his shoulder, she didn't
な
notice.
ぜベアトリーチェの微笑みに手が届かぬのか。月齢か水星の周期か惑星の配列か。 何が足りぬのだ。何が
無駄よ金蔵。愛がなければ見えない。
Cannon took the brooch he had received from Shannon out of his pocket. By learning something new, would he become able to glimpse something he couldn't see now?
愛がなければ見えない。
Yeah. Okay. Tired. Umineko no Nakukoro. So these end with like vines. There's not glass shattering anymore. That shit scared me in the first episode sometimes. The hell is this? The biggest fall event for the Ushiromiya family was the family conference in October. Oh, it's just her? Wow. The Jessica there was another major event that came before that. It's called Culture Fest. Jessica liked school. To her, it was a place where she could let out the stress she'd built up from the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. For today's cultural festival, she formed a group with her friends and had announced that they'd perform some light music on a temporary stage. She had prepared and practiced for this over and over until today, always anxiously waiting this day's arrival. There was one thing that worried her. She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Would that person really come? After taking a single deep breath, her heart jumped with all her friends suddenly started speaking in shrill voices.
嘘、ひなの彼氏超イケてんじゃん。マジすごくない？マジすごくない？リンの彼氏すっごい頭良さそう。あれでド S メガネなの？マジ本当？
ダメダメ、うちの旦那ギャル男だし。
Youth. I remember when I was that young. It may not be like this for all girls, but at least Jessica's school, the Cultural Festival, was basically like Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special only one. Jessica was a little famous around the school, and everyone thought it'd be natural for her to have a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had led her to pretend that this was true. She'd somehow managed to keep them fooled until this year. But for various reasons, she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival.
ジェシー、彼氏来た？え？いや、まだ来てねえみてえだぜ。仕事忙しいのかな？
ジェシーの彼氏どんな人なの？せめてヒントだけでも出してよ。
何系？何系？すごいよね。社会人なんでしょ？スーツとかで来る？もちろんメガネかけてるよね。キャー！ねえ、でも本当はいないんだよね。今素直に白状したら私の仲間に入れてあげるって。一緒にこの文化祭を涙で濡らそうよ。
The hell, man?
いや、いる本当にいるって。
Jessica's bitter smile was covered with cold sweat. It was starting to seem doubtful whether she really had deceived her sharp-witted friends. Damn. Should have told the truth, girl. Don't be ashamed. Come on now.
はい。なら、彼氏さんの偽物を立てて連れて行くというのはどうでしょうか。
偽物？
Oh, George?
誰よ？
Really?
そんな
Nah.
の心当たり
Nah,
ねえ
that's
ぜ。
weird, dude. Shannon's ridiculous plan to. Wow, no, they're not about to do that. Or cannon? No. Furniture? Your furniture.
例えばですが、
Furniture?
カノン君なんてどうでしょう。
カノンくん？ダメダメ！というか、きっとカノンくん文化祭の日は仕事に決まってるぜ。迷惑かけちゃ悪いしさ。
Your furniture. You don't
も
forget.
ちろん予定表も確認済みです。カノン君はその日お休みになっています。
こんな時ばっかり容量がいいのな。じゃなくて、休みならもっと悪いぜ。せっかくの休みを私の見栄のために引っ張り出せないよ。
Here you go.
カノン君は引っ張り出されないといっつも閉じこもってばかりいますので、無理に引っ張り回すくらいでちょうどいいかと思いますよ。
そうなの？いや、でもカノン君に悪い。
Why?
なら晩作つきますね。おとなしく彼氏はいませんと白状なされてはいかがでしょうか。それは肩身の狭い思いをなされるでしょうが、卒業までの短くも長い間を耐え忍ばれるだけでございますし、愛し合う恋人同士にとって独り者のひがみ顔が何にも勝る甘い蜜なのです。
シャノン、私のために本気で悩んでない
Yeah,
でしょ。
why they got jingle bells sound effects? Come on now. I mean, I know it's Christmas time, but... Okay. Jessica wrestled about with Shannon, her eyes teary. But Shannon was unfazed, laughing with her usual smile.
はい。私とジョージ様のことを茶化してばかりのお嬢様への仕返しです。
Listening to Shannon's comeback, the likes of which didn't happen even once a year, Jessica hugged her cushion and rolled around on her bed, pretending to faint in agony. She couldn't stand Shannon's smile, which looked so triumphant. But right now, she was the only person Jessica could talk with. She could choke her to death with her cushion later.
いいじゃないですか、お嬢様。文化祭ではありますが、カノン君と一緒に遊びに行くチャンスですよ。
いや、それはそうだけど。いや。
Jessica buried her head in her favorite pillow to hide the fact that her face had grown bright red. She grumpily chewed her fingernail on her thumb. It really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were about the same age, of the same sex, and friends. And they were both right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about love. Ah, youth. That's why they could talk freely about these topics to each other. So Jessica had heard a lot about how Shannon and George's love was progressing. Shannon had heard a lot about what type Jessica liked, what kind of man she might be interested in. Judging by Jessica's reaction, it'd probably be rude for us to keep going into precisely what these things were. However, this story won't get anywhere if we have Jessica rolling around forever, so let's dive in. Jessica had been thinking about Kennen ever since he'd shown up. It was extremely rare for young men to visit Rokijima, so maybe it was natural for Jessica, a girl in puberty, to develop an interest in Kennen. But if anyone said that, it would destroy the romantic ideals of the maiden's pure heart and love at first sight. Shannon had been with Kennen for a long time at the orphanage. She'd known him since before they started working. So Jessica asked persistently about what his hobbies were, what his favorite food was, what type of girl he liked. Even to Shannon, it was rather clear that Jessica was infatuated with Kennen.
もうカノン君をデートに連れ出せるいい機会じゃありませんか。
でもカノン君にだって好きな人とかいるかもしれないし、私なんかの見えっ張りに付き合わせたら気を悪くするぜ。
お嬢様のような素直じゃない方を何でしたっけ、ジョージ様に習いました。そうツンドラとか言うそうですよ。あと十数年かすると流行るんだそうですよ。
Okay.
へえ、さすがジョージ兄さんだな。
This nigga.
未来のトレンドがわかるのかよ。
Sundora.
すげえぜ。 ってことは私ってタイプは時代がずれてるってことじゃねえかよ。もうダメだ。
Okay. The fuck was the crackpot doing there? It took several days of wasted efforts, but in the end, Jessica agreed to the plan of having Cannon pretend to be her boyfriend. Uh-oh. Let's see. What's going on?
はい、お嬢様。お呼びでしょうか。
Jessica regretted calling out at such a bad time. Cannon always looked sullen, but he had some bad days and some better days. Fortunately, this reaction was the former.
いや、そのさ、
All that confidence and effort she'd built up practicing in front of a mirror all night was wiped out in about 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Jessica turned bright red and hung her head. When he saw that, Cannon sighed. Jessica thought that he was exasperated with her, and her face went pale.
シャノンから聞いています。お嬢様の学校の文化祭へお供するようにというお話ですか。
シャノンナイス。
Okay.
じゃなくてそうなんだけど、その当日の予定はどうかな。
シャノンから当日は特にお嬢様にお仕えするよう厳命されております。僕は高校には行ったことがないので分かりませんが、何でも男性の付き人がいないと大変肩身が狭い場だとか、後宮本家令嬢が庶民に劣ることがあってはならないと
Maybe in
特
Japan.
に厳命されておりますので。
シャノンは後でぶっ殺す。
Jessica kept yelling with a strange voice and a broken smile, like a tea kettle filled with boiling water. As Cannon watched this, he sighed again. Cannon wasn't an idiot either. He fully understood what Jessica intended by inviting him. But to be honest, playing along with Jessica's love game seemed like it'd be nothing more than an annoyance to him. However, Shannon had asked him over and over. He was deeply indebted to her, so he couldn't refuse. And that brooch was in his pocket. Could this strange turn of events have been brought about by the magic power residing in this brooch? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But he remembered what Shannon had said to him that day. Could Shannon see something he couldn't? I don't understand Shannon's feelings. We are furniture. As if we could ever become anything more. It was a truly odd exchange between Jessica, who was still rambling on in a strange voice, and Cannon, who sighed deeply. The man of the hour has come. Cannon!
ジェシー、
Show yourself!
人が来てるよ。聞こえてないの？
I wonder what he
ご
looks
めん、
like.
誰？
School uniform? Suit and tie? Classy? My attempt to play dumb felt pretty transparent, even to me. Did I really just say sorry? Who is it? Gotta know who just showed up? What? It's useless! Useless! A man's grumbling. Okay, this nigga!
ジェシの彼氏。
Oh,
本
this nigga. Bro.
マジ嘘本当？ジェシカの裏切り者。すっごい素敵じゃん。
年下？年下なんて聞いてないよ。
どこどこ？ジェシの彼氏ってどこどこどこ？ショタって本当？
Okay.
いや、遅かったじゃねえかよ。
昇降口がわからなかったもので遅くなって申し訳ございません。
いや、
This nigga looks like a bodyguard. Hitman on hire and shit.
シャノンが普段着では良くないと言って先日一緒に買い物似合いませんでしたでしょうか。
Hell yeah, it does, but I like it.
そんなことないよ。シャノン、後で
Nigga looks like gonna beat up everyone's ass. What the?
なんだかここは女の人ばかりで居心地が悪いです。
だよなだよな。ささ、ここじゃなくてステージの方に行こうぜ。もうすぐ私たちの出番だからさ。さささ。
Jessica seemed just as uncomfortable. Looked like being bathed in everyone's interest. Gaze was hard on her. When he saw Jessica's appearance, Kenan thought he might have made difficult things for her by coming.
なんだか迷惑をおかけしているような気がします。お邪魔だったでしょうか。
そんなことないって。
僕がお邪魔でしたらいつでも言ってくだされば。僕はどうしていればいいでしょうか、お嬢様。
お嬢って呼ばせてるの？羊系来たこれ。ラメー、今日はお嬢様はラメー。
そうですか、わかりました、ジェシカ様。
しつけ済みの様付けだ。ごめん、カノン君。3秒でいいから目つぶっててくれるかな。キスするよ。
Okay. Thunder?
ではつまります。
Bang. Dunk. Bam bam. Slam. Crash. Boom, chunk, 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 pop, pop, boom, pop, pop, pop. Leave some beatbox noises, nigga, what? By the time Cannon opened his eyes, a horrible tragedy had occurred in the room. Everyone had been driven into the walls, their arms and legs outstretched. Jessica had slipped her brass knuckles into her pocket before Cannon's eyes opened. Damn, she can fight like that?
とにかくステージの方
What
に行こう。
the?
私たちの出番はもうすぐだから
Let's
し
go.
ばらく席で待っててよ。
That Ushiromiya blood in you?
私たちは準備あるからさ。この先突き当たりまで行けば仮設舞台があるからわかるぜ。そこで待ってて。
She said. She pushed Cannon's back, as he seemed to be having trouble moving himself, and chased him out. Even though Cannon was confused by Jessica's attitude and her panicky state, which he'd never seen before, he followed her instructions and headed in the direction she had indicated. I thought I was gonna be terrified tonight, honestly, but after seeing him off with knocker smile, Jessica opened the door, shut and yelled help.
ささ、見たね。見たでしょ。満足した。ざまあねえぜ。
Hell yeah, you did.
賭けに負けた。
I have to pay.
絶対ジェシに彼氏なんかいないと思ってたのに。彼氏じゃないんでしょ。使用人へのパワハラでしょ。ジェシの彼氏素敵だお。いやかましいぜ。ほらほら、準備準備。
Say. Jessica took the brass knuckles out of her pockets again, and everyone energetically returned to their task. I'm gonna hear Jessica sing or no? I wonder. We are. Cannon went down to the corridor Jessica had shown him. We ran up a temporary stage set up with the vending machine she should have been in. It was probably being rented by the hour by some group only. The ones singing were student groups, but the crowd was still incredibly excited. This better not be an Ibuki situation. That shit was awful. I'm sorry, bro. They tried their best to make her sing. Oh, nah, you cannot be called the ultimate rock star with a voice and fucking god awful singing. Like, I'm sorry, bruh. That was just so fucking heartbreaking, honestly. I can't believe I had to witness that, dude. I don't think they're gonna sing in this one either, but who knows. I also have to read all this shit, because I was just rambling. Okay, Cannon went down the quarter. Animation should have been. It was probably being rented by the artist. This game's shit. I did not mean to do that one. Slacking and clatter, he leaned against the wall in the darkness by himself. So this is what they call high school. It sure is noisy. That's what Kenneth thought. They remembered Jessica just now, acting in a way that he'd never seen before. Honestly, she was in such high spirits that alcohol might have been involved. To her, remaining composed and knowledge was a highest virtue. Okay. In that sense, it was very hard for Ken to get used to the atmosphere of a school cultural festival. He had a responsibility to report everything he saw and heard to the master. So he also had a report about how Jessica had acted without restraint earlier. At the very least, it was not fitting for the daughter of a Ushigomi had family. The master, Kraus-sama, and especially Natsui-sama, would probably be angry. If I'm to report it in a way that protects Milady, should I blame it on the inappropriate school friends? I shouldn't report it at all. Kitten thought back on how Jessica had acted earlier and sighed again. He could understand Natsui's headache a little now. Come to think of it, Natsui-sama, as the president of the PTA, was supposed to go up to an informal gathering after attending the ceremony in the gymnasium. She said she wouldn't be able to see Milady's performance, didn't she? It's probably for the best. There you go. He wants to be Seth so bad, I swear. Several female students keep glancing at me. They've all whispered the same things that Milady's school friend said. It's truly unpleasant. Come to think of it, didn't Shannon warn me? You walk alone at something like a school festival. Better watch out. Lots of strange people will come and talk to you.
お一人ですか?
Just as expected, a group of girls I'd never met started talking to me. Their stare started to make my back tingle. Didn't she tell me some magic words that could chase them off in times like this? I have a girlfriend.
すみません。連れがいますので。
そうですか。ごめんなさい。
Worked. Instant reaction. Well, I got rid of them, but it hasn't really changed the number of people staring at me.
違うよ。あの子だよ、ジェシーの彼氏。嘘。あの子が？信じらんないよね。絶対にエアだと思ってたよ。可愛いじゃん。年下？いいなぁ。
There's no way I'll ever come to a place like this again. Ken sighed for about the zillionth time that day. When he did, the lighting changed and the standing audience started cheering. He looked around and realized that there was suddenly a large group of people there. Unlike earlier, they were mostly guys. This huge crowd, he couldn't even see the stage. Fortunately, there was a fallen beer case nearby, so he tried using that as a footstool. When he did, he realized that there was now a new group on the stage. Their leader is Milady. She's changed into stage clothes, and she's even holding a guitar. I didn't know she could play. Then again, maybe she can play. I've seen her practicing air guitar before. Natsui-sama wouldn't approve of any hobbies outside of study. Maybe she was always practicing in secret. Come to think of it, she's been returning really late from school recently, hasn't she? Maybe she's been practicing at school, far away from Natsui-sama's prying eyes. It really is for the best that Natsui-sama didn't come. If Milady were to get scolded by Natsui-sama after putting so many hours of practice in, she'd probably be dejected. Damn. Oh! I could hear Jessica-sama's voice, forceful voice through the speakers. Jessie-sama, Maybe that's her nickname at school? Students in the audience kept calling out that name. I'm a little offended by that crude name. It's inappropriate for a lady. Jessica-sama was in high spirits as she kept saying Jessie-sama. Never knew was probably a fan. Her mic performance picked up on that and electrified them even more. It was almost like a music program on TV. At first, he thought this was all silly, but that feeling had changed his appreciation. It was incredible in its own way. Ken never listened to music of his own free will, but he'd often heard of the kind of music the Ushiromiya family liked. As it was almost all classical, Ken had naturally taken a liking to that kind of music. So to Ken, the song Jessica sang was, how should you say it, extremely colorful. In any case, if Natsui-sama heard it, she'd probably faint. Can we hear a sample? Woo! Nice! Oh my god. Okay. Alright, girl! Everyone looked like they were having a really good time. Some diehard fans, who had even brought pen lights, sang along and danced crazy with the same movements, almost as though it had been planned ahead. I'll be quiet for this so you can read it and listen. Damn, nigga. What is this? Bruh, what was that? What the heck was that sound, dude? Bro, that was awful. I just wanted to hear her singing, but okay. Dude, that was good. Could this be the Ushiromiya Jessica's true nature? Don't I know better than anyone that during her life on Orokinjima, she'd had no choice but to kill her sense of self? So that time she spends not as Milady, successor to the Ushiromiya family, but as a single girl called Jessica, living life to the fullest, must be very important to her. I've worked close to Milady, seeing her in all seasons, and I thought I knew everything about her. But that was all limited to one side of her, the Milady of Orokinjima. We are furniture. We serve on the Orokinjima and end our lives on the Orokinjima. So I've come to think of Orokinjima as our whole world, itself as our whole world. As though, like in Ptolemaic theory, the ocean spilled off the end of that. But when I looked at Milady like this, I could see how horribly narrow that outlook is. I still can't go along with the excitement of the crowd. But I feel like I can sense something that cannot be seen on Orokinjima. Not sure if this is the unseeable thing Shannon was talking about, but the ocean still doesn't look blue to me. In due time, Canon. In due time. That's the end of this little mini chapter. Not mini chapter, but like section. I'm mad about that.
今日は
one.
ジェシ
The
カの学校
static
の文化祭だっ
fucked me up,
たな。
man. I
校
just
長
wanted to
先生
hear her
はお元気でおられたかね。
ええ、お元気なようでした。そうそう、高宮議員もおいでになっておりました。あなたによろしくと特に言っておりましたよ。
うん。相変わらずご多忙そうかね。
そのようでした。あの方も精力的な方です。そうそう、あと榎本会長もおいででしたっけ。
Naturally, the topic of Jessica's cultural festival came up at dinner. School events often became social gatherings for local volunteers. It was the same for the Ushiromiya family, who were celebrities around here. Natsu remembered the name of one VIP after another at that social gathering, telling Klaus the news about them. I'm just gonna call him Klaus from now on. Jessica didn't really have any interest in that discussion and rudely slurped her pumpkin soup.
お嬢様、あまりお行儀がよろしくないかと。
へいへい、そりゃあ悪かったぜ。
ジェシカ、そういう言葉遣いは改めるよういつも言っていますよ。
はい。
Jessica answered, discouraged. When he saw that, Klaus smiled a little and paused his conversation with Natsui.
ジェシカの方はどうだったかね、文化祭は。
見ていましたよ。よく頑張っていましたね。
Really now? What the? Jessica's face turned bright red. Are you lying, Natsui? She probably hadn't imagined Natsui would actually come to see her on stage. She felt a mix of happiness and embarrassment. Actually, she hadn't really wanted her mother to watch, since she didn't want to be told that her music was inappropriate for the Ushiromiya family. But it certainly didn't make her unhappy to hear the parents say she'd done a good job, after watching her try her best.
ジェシカもなかなか落ち着きと貫禄が出てきましたね。生徒代表にふさわしい振る舞いでしたよ。
The smile that had been there until a second ago crumbled like sand. Jessica immediately realized that her mom was talking about something different. Jessica was also school student president. She had no interest in doing something so annoying, but her parents had been pushy, so she grudgingly accepted. Unfortunately, she was popular at school, so she won the election easily. So, Nazi was praising her for the student council sponsorship ceremony at the beginning of the cultural festival. Actually, she had just carried that out half-heartedly. After that, she immediately met up with her friends and held a stage rehearsal for the rest of the time.
人の上に立ち責任を背負うという経験は必ず将来役に立つ。後ろ宮家の人間としてきっとジェシカを成熟させてくれるだろう。
ただ挨拶が少し早口でした。内容は及第点でしたが、早い口調はそれを薄れさせます。一呼吸置く癖をつけるといいでしょう。
Damn, man. Man, this is... I don't like that. The atmosphere is gloomy as fuck. Jeez, man. Poor Jessica, dude. This is why Battler and George and Maria were like a saving grace when they came in episode 1. This is lonely, bruh. Shit, man. Jessica felt that even being in the mansion made it hard to breathe, so she went outside to the rose garden. There she saw Beatrice.
まあ、来たところでどうせ後ろ宮家の跡継ぎとしてふさわしくないとかなんとか言うんだろうぜ。ならこれでいいんじゃねえかよ。
Jessica laughed at what she was sulking over. She laughed at what kind of word she could possibly have been expecting. That was dumb of me. In the end, I was just acting like an entitled brat. I'm a little exasperated with myself, and it makes me want to laugh.
お嬢様。
Cannon!
カノン君か。驚かすなよ。
He saw your performance. Don't worry. He loved it. Just as she was about to force a laugh, Cannon suddenly started talking to her, and she choked.
何なんかよ。
How does she have asthma? Her dad a smoker? He looks like a smoker.
その
Jessica's expression became the one she always wore when looking at Cannon. The listless Jessica from a second ago was gone. If he had still only known Jessica as the eventual successor of the Ushiromiya family, as he had until yesterday, He might have mistakenly thought that Jessica's mood had sprung back to normal. But that wasn't right. He now knew a part of her that he couldn't have seen until yesterday, so he understood that there was no way Jessica actually felt the way she appeared.
あ、今日は文化祭。いや、私の見栄に付き合ってくれてありがとうな。助かったぜ。
お歌お上手でした。
そうかよ。照れるぜ。
Even though she had heard the words she most wanted to hear, Jessica acted shyly and couldn't accept them openly.
僕には歌は歌えません。楽器も小学校で習ったハーモニカとリコーダー笛しか知りません。だからお嬢様も同じだろうと決めつけていました。
At the time, Kenneth had never felt as though he'd been looking down on Jessica in this way. But all the people he had seen playing special instruments were on the other side of the brown tubes in the TV. At the very least, he'd been under the impression that it'd be impossible for Jessica.
僕は家具だから歌を歌う必要も楽器を扱う必要もないと信じてきました。
But, demo, I'm not sure anymore.
カノン君、その家具だからって口癖、本当に予想ぜ。使用人の心得ってやつだろ。使用人は生きた家具であれってやつ、源氏さんがよく口にしてるもんな。
心得というわけでは本当に家具ですし。
福音の家の子たちがいろいろじい様から援助をもらってるってのは知ってるし、それに恩義を感じてるのも知ってるよ。でもだからって家具なんて言い方はあんまりだぜ。私たちは同じ人間じゃないかよ。カノン君は私が歌ってるのを見てどう思った？
とても楽しそうに見えました。
それは多分違うぜ。
え？
楽しそうに見えたんじゃなくて羨ましかったんじゃない？
そんなことは。
Kenneth probably hadn't noticed that emotion himself. Most likely, Kenneth saw something he'd never seen before, learned about it for the first time, and felt envious. And to trick himself out of that emotion, he called himself furniture over and over.
私は後ろ宮家の跡継ぎだかなんだかだそうで、まあそのいろいろな面倒がこれからもあると思う。それについては運のない星の下に生まれちまったと諦めるしかないさ。多分カノン君が福音の家で生活しなければならなかったのと同じに、私たち自身にはどうしようもない生まれる星は選べなかった。
そうかもしれません。
ただ私とカノン君では大きく違うところが1点ある。わかる？
I am furniture, and my lady is not. He was about to say that, but stopped.
わかりません。
カノン君は自らの運命が自分の全てだと思って諦めた。私はこんな運命じゃ納得できないから自分の思い切りを頑張ろうと思った。だから後ろ宮家のお嬢様をやらなければならない窮屈な自分と自分の好きなことに精一杯な自分というもう一人を作った。
もう一人の自分。
カノン君は自分のことを家具だからと言い聞かせてきた。そう言い聞かせなきゃならない辛いことがきっとたくさんあったんだと思う。それについては本当に気の毒だと思う。でもそれだけでカノン君の人生を全て決めちゃうなんて、私はそんなの悲しいと思うんだよ。人はさ、自分の中に自分が本当に好きになれるもう一人の自分をいつでも作り出すことができるんだよ。現実逃避とかとは違うぜ。そのもう一人の自分でいるとき、 私は最高に生きているって実感できる。だから普段の日常がどんなに窮屈で退屈でも、私はきっと窒息せずに生きていけるってわけ。
See.
自分の中に自分が本当に好きになれる自分を作る。
To make another me, one that isn't furniture. Through a relationship with George-sama, has Shannon given birth to another self that isn't furniture? Did this other Shannon see something that cannot be seen by furniture?
私さ、カノン君のプライベートって全然知らないぜ。でもなんだか想像できる。カノン君のプライベートには多分何もない。図星でしょ。
Cannon couldn't reply, but that was answer enough. He had no concept of a private life, so Cannon would always be Cannon. So furniture would always be furniture.
カノン君のカノンってさ、本名じゃないんでしょ。
In the Fukuin household, new graduates would be given new families and a new life, so they were also given a new name. In this case, that was Cannon.
確かに僕のこの名は仮のものかもしれません。
Before he had thought of himself as Cannon and no one else. But he remembered. There definitely had been another self that wasn't Cannon. But that was far, far away beyond the distant fog of oblivion.
ならカノン君にもカノン君である時とそうでない時で違う自分がいてもいいはず。使用人である時のカノン君は自らを家具と呼び厳しく自己を戒めてるかもしれない。でもカノン君じゃない時の君はもっともっと自由に生きていいと思うんだ。
Those words definitely weren't just lip service. Jessica had also been like this in the past. She had cursed her own birth into an environment different from all of her friends at school. Only she had been in a heavily constricted environment, forced to learn all sorts of things. And she had even been told whom she was and wasn't allowed to play with. It may have been sad, but she'd given up, resigning herself to the fact that she'd been born under that kind of star. But one day, Jessica stopped giving up and surrendering. Stuff like Ushiromiya family customs and pressure didn't matter. She created a real Jessica inside herself, one who could do what she really wanted to do.
私さ、学校ではジェシってあだ名で呼ばれてる。だからさ、ジェシである時は自分に思い切り素直に生きてる。だからこそジェシカである時も頑張れるんだ。カノン君にもカノンである時とカノンじゃなくてその本名である時で違う生き方をしてもいいんじゃないかな。カノンじゃない時、自分を好きになれる自分になってみてもいいんじゃないかな。
僕がカノンじゃない時。
He'd once thought of his real name as being completely meaningless. Because of that, he thought Canon summed up everything about him. And now Jessica was telling him to create something new, another self that wasn't Canon.
カノン君、嫌じゃなきゃ教えてよ。本当の名前なんていうの？
He was silent for quite some time. Maybe Canon's real name had risen to the tip of his tongue. After hesitating for a long time over whether he should say it, in the end, he swallowed it back down.
忘れました。僕の名前などもうどうでもいいことです。
Those words contained a faint rejection.
僕が本当は何という名前であったとしても今ここにカノンとしてあることだけが現実です。過去など何の関係もない。作られた家具の材料が元は何という木の幹であったかなんてどうでもいいことと同じです。
だからよせって。家具じゃないんだぞ。君は人間だぜ。
僕は人間じゃない。
Cannon clearly voiced his refusal. It was with a rage that he normally didn't show. Jessica couldn't say anything back and was struck silent.
お嬢様は人間です。だからどんな生き方をしようとも自由で、どんな未来も可能性もある。それはまるで翼を持ち自在に空を舞う鳥のよう。でも僕にはそんなものはないんです。僕がたとえ鳥に見えたとしてもアヒルに過ぎない。アヒルに翼はあっても飛ぶことはできない。なのに空の夢を語るなんて、そんなのは残酷すぎる。
家具だのアヒルだの、なんだってんだよ一体。いや、
Jessica had unconsciously gone along with Cannon's forceful manner of speaking, but she realized she shouldn't fire back and swallowed her words.
私は君のことを何も知らない。生い立ちも知らないし、その苦労も知らない。だから君がどうして自分を家具だなんて言い出すようになったのか想像もつかない。でも知って、君は家具でもアヒルでもない、ちゃんとした人間だぜ。使用人としてのカノン君が家具だと言うならそれでもいいよ。でもならカノン君は家具でない時の人間の時の自分を作ってもいいとは思わない？
そんな可能性を抱けるのはお嬢様が人間だからです。僕はそうじゃない。僕には未来も可能性も見るべき夢もない。だからお嬢様、それ以上残酷なことを言わないでください。
なんでだよ、なんでそんなことを言うんだよ。
お嬢様が僕のことをご自分と同じ人間だと勘違いなされているようだからです。僕とお嬢様は違う存在、それをはっきり申し上げておきたかったのです。シャノンに聞きました。お嬢様は僕のことをお気に入りになられているとか。
いや、
僕は人間に限りなく近い姿をしています。だからシャノンのように自分を人間だと錯覚して一時恋愛の真似事をすることもできるかもしれない。でもそれは自分を騙しているに違いない。いえ、お嬢様を騙すことにもなるのです。シャノンとジョージ様も必ず破綻する、その日が訪れることをシャノンだって理解しているだろうに。バカなことを。
バカだってことはないだろ。そりゃジョージ兄さんは立派な人だし、両親の期待も背負ってる。確かに結婚とかになればエヴァおばさんがいろいろと口出しをしてくるだろうし、まあその前途は多難だと思うぜ。でもな、ジョージ兄さんはそんなのに屈する人じゃねえ。シャノンをジュリエットになんかしねえぜ。きっと幸せにしてくれる。
人は家具と恋などできない。お嬢様が家具を愛することができても僕にお嬢様を愛することができないと、そう申し上げたいのです。
Those words of Cannon's crushed all of Jessica's bittersweet feelings from that day. There was no way her emotions could have predicted that she'd be refused so bluntly. In an instant, she lost the willpower that she had held to try and unravel something stubborn in Cannon's heart. Before she knew it, she was just standing there in shock.
お嬢様が僕を好かれているという気持ちが僕の思い上がりによるものならどうかお許しください。
いや、まあそこは否定しねえぜ。
ありがとうございます。僕を人間だと思ってくれてありがとうございます。そのお気持ちだけで僕は本当に嬉しいです。そしてそれ以上は僕には残酷すぎるから。
だぜ。悪かったな。
Jessica recklessly scratched at her head and spoke, trying to force her voice to sound
私
warm.
一人がいろいろ先走っちゃって迷惑かけたよ。正直ごめん。貴重な休みを丸一日振り回しちゃって本当にごめん。
いえ、僕も楽しそうなお嬢様が見られて嬉しかったです。
じゃあ今夜はこれで終わりにしようぜ。私も部屋に戻って消灯しないとまた母さんに怒られちまうよ。
そうされた方がよろしいでしょう。おやすみなさいませ、お嬢様。
うん、おやすみ。
Ken saw Jessica trot away with her back to him, looking disheartened. But then she suddenly broke into a reckless dash and disappeared in the direction of the mansion. As he watched her back for just an instant, Ken was tormented by the feeling that he just made a huge mistake. But he hadn't made a mistake at all. He'd been forced to refuse her. Now, for her sake, while his pain was still at its smallest.
女を泣かせるとは
Ooh, that
なかなか
scared
やるで
me,
はない
boy.
か。
Please, stop
お
that
前がそこまで
abruptness.
拒絶するとは意外であった。普通に受け答えしていれば、わらわの魔法で二組目の恋人たちが生まれていたものを。
Oh.
いつからそこに。最低なやつだな。
When he turned around, the witch was suddenly there. It looked like she'd been there the whole time, watching the two of them as though enjoying a play.
わらわへの暴言は愉快なる見せ物に免じて特別に許す。男と女のこじれ合いに勝る見せ物は千年を経ても存在せぬな。わらわにとっては何よりも甘美な
Wow.
止められぬ快
She
楽
would know
よ。
what that tastes like. What that's like. Ganon pulled the butterfly brooch out of his pocket. It was the manifestation of a great magic the witch had bestowed. Without hesitation, Ganon slammed it against the ground and stomped on it.
ほう、わらわの
Trying
与
to
え
inflict her
た
wrath,
ものと
nigga?
知りつつ、
No.
それは何を意味するのか。
今理解した。お前がしているのは恋のキューピッドなんて洒落たものじゃない。お前は結ばれぬ者たちに恋を見せてたぶらかして楽しんでいるだけの悪魔だ。
そう思うも自由よ。わらわが力を貸した人間の多くはお前と同じようなことを口にする。
ほうけるな。お前はシャノンを憐れんで力を貸したんじゃない。恋に胸を焦がすシャノンの心の隙をついて自分を封じていた鏡を割らせた。しかもそれだけじゃない。その末路まで想像がついていてもてあそんでいる。違うか。
家具とはつくづく哀れな存在よ。夢も未来も恋すらもないか。よいよい、身の程はわきまえるに限るぞ。ジェシカの心にはお前が察する通り淡い恋心があった。そなたはそれにハサミを入れ刈り取ったつもりでいる。だが知っておるか。木は勝手に茂らせたものより枝を間引き剪定したものの方が太い枝をつけるというぞ。家具に恋する娘か。面白いぞ、実に面白い。シャーノンとジョージもやがては結ばれ得ぬ恋に行き詰まり、わらわ好みの大きな果実を実らせるだろう。 しかしいかんせんあの二人はうまくいきすぎていて面白くなくてな。そこへ行くとお前たちは大いにわらわを楽しませてくれそうだぞ。
The witch laughed. Even though she had known the two could never be together, she had let magic bring them together. However, they couldn't escape the fate that prevented them from ever being truly joined. The witch knew that even if they were joined, Shannon and George, Ken and Jessica, would eventually break up. They would wander through an endless desert in this hell of love, tormented by an eternal thirst.
わらわがその力を対価なく貸すことがあるとでも恋に手は貸そう。その対価はやがて必ず訪れる二人への過酷な運命の鑑賞料としていただくわけよ。これに勝る見せ物は1000年経っても存在せぬ。金像を見るがいい。恋の味を知り楽園を追放された哀れな老いぼれの末路を、死んでも死にきれぬさながら亡者のような生き様を見るがいい。
やはりお前は魔女だ。消えて失せろ、この悪魔め。
頼まれずとも消えよう。まだまだわらわには力が戻らぬでな。姿を現し続けるのはまだまだ疲れることよ。そなたら恋人たちに力を授けるのに無理をしすぎたのでな。触媒のブローチなしで力を維持し続けるのは今のわらわには容易ではない。
Cannon ground his foot even more into the stump birch. He felt it break under his foot. Then it evaporated like water, and changed into butterflies that sparkled gold, fluttering out from beneath Cannon's foot.
わらわもこの姿を保ち続けるのがちと苦しい。しばしそなたの願い通り姿を消そう。満ちぬ潮も月もないように我が魔力も必ず満ちる。そして必ずや訪れよう。わらわが蘇るにふさわしい時が。それが明日のことか来年のことか、さもなくば100年1000年未来のことかは想像もつかん。だがわらわを楽しませてくれる者たちがおる限りわらわは必ずや力を得て蘇るであろう。その時までしばし姿を消す。そなたの手のひらにもはやあざはなく、そなたが望むならば明日の朝にはわらわの存在など夢か幻のように消し去ることもできよう。忘れ去られることほどわらわに悲しいことはない。だがわらわは必ず蘇る。そしてその日がいつ訪れても後悔することのないよう自らを戒めよ。わらわは必ずや再臨し、この島の真の主として全てを支配する。その時こそ再び黄金鏡の扉が開かれる。欲深な亡者たちが必ずやわらわを呼び覚ます。
くどい、早く消え去れ黄金の魔女。
The witch became a cloud of gold butterflies and scattered away, leaving behind a scornful laugh. The whole area sparkled like a gold blizzard in a snow globe. Interesting. It was a fleeting, fantastical scene that disappeared in a heartbeat. Damn, that was quite the chapter. The witch...
愉快。
Whoa!
なぜに久しぶりの人の世はこうも愉快なのか。恋に狂え、黄金に狂え、そのどちらにも狂わぬものなど人間にあらず。なるほど、故に家具とは言い得たり。家具は人間に奉仕するために生み出される。そしてわらわは 退屈なる千年の慰み者として人間を虐げる。そのわらわが家具を支配できぬとは、なんとも愉快な
Cannon
三
is a
すくみ。
formidable foe.
金蔵め、実に面白いことをしてくれる家具め。わらわを撃てるか試みてみるがいい。今宵まきたる恋の種は2つ、すでにまきたる種と含めてこれで3つ。
Shit, man.
ベアトリーチェ、なぜに私を一人この苦界に置き去りにしたのか。私は憎い。これほどまでに恋焦がれているのに答えようとせぬお前を永遠に憎む。
親方様、それ以上のお酒はお体に障ります。南條先生からもご注意を受けておられるのでは。
黙れ源氏。お前には分からぬ。我が嘆きも苦しみも分からぬ。お前だけは我が苦しみを理解してくれていると、お前だけは我が最古の友人であると信じているのに、なぜに理解できないというのか。おー、ベアトリーチェ、なぜ私だけを置き去りに。
Damn, nigga. Everyone's fucking miserable. Jesus Christ.
なんだよ家具ってわけわかんねえよ。
おお、おいたわしやジェシカ様。寝室から聞こえてくるすすり泣く声に私は事情を知りつつもどうしようもないのでございます。すべては若すぎた二人と近すぎた距離、そして生まれた家柄が遠すぎたゆえの悲劇。私はただただお嬢様のお気持ちを汲み取り、足音を殺して静かに立ち去るのみなのでございま
Dude,
す。
I love this fucking soundtrack. Like this specific one that's playing right now. Oh my god. I need to look this up. Jeez, that was so good. I need to listen to the Umineko soundtrack fully, but I feel like I'll get spoiled on some of them. Damn, did I finish this chapter yet? Or this part of the chapter? Damn! Whoa! It's already low on battery already? What the heck? I feel like I unplugged it not even that long ago. Let me plug it back in, I guess. We'll save this one. Now we're back to the full squad. We're 21 again.
それってどういう意味ですか、ジョージさん。
言葉通りの意味だよ。僕はまだ自分の城を築き上げてない。それができて初めて僕は一人前になれたと思えるんだ。その時君と結婚したい。
それは
でもそれじゃあもう僕の心が許せないんだ。だから君に婚約指輪を贈りたい。
婚約ですか。でも私家具ですし。
そうだったね。じゃあ家具は人の言うことを聞かないとね。今 君に贈るのにふさわしい指輪を作らせてる。多分今度の親族会議の日には持っていけると思う。その時に送るから、どうか君の返事を聞かせてほしいんだ。
Okay, so this all happened
君
before,
が
and it's not like a
僕
separate
の婚約を受け
timeline
てく
type
れ
of
たら、
thing.
僕はその席で
Nice.
おじい様を含
Okay,
めた
so this
全
all
ての
happened
親族の前
before
で
that conference.
君との婚約を宣言する。
Wow. Holy fuck, dude.
ジョージさん、
Are events gonna change though?
君と僕の仲をふさわしくないと咎める人たちはきっといる。でもそいつらの顔を見る必要はない。君はその瞳の中に僕だけを満たしていればいいから。君を必ず幸せにする。それだけは絶対に約束するから。
どのように実るのか楽しみでならない。熟に過ぎて腐り落ちる果実の液に黄金の蝶たちは舞い降りぬ。今より収穫の日が待ち遠しい。宴の時はまだか、まだか。
Subtitles are a little off, man. A little bit lagging, but doesn't happen too often. Oh, there we go. There's the... Wow! That was one whole thing? You have got me fucked up, nigga. I did not even finish one. Oh? Oh, we're here. Batra-kun. Batra-kun. Let me save it once more. I low-key want to end it, but it's 4:25. I'll end it for now. I don't know. I want to play this while it's night time. Yeah, I'll keep playing. I was just a little tired because it's 4:30 a.m. and shit, man, I did not expect to be this tired. I woke up at around 2 p.m. and I plan on staying awake until 6 p.m. at least. Or maybe until 4 p.m. I don't know. Well, let me get comfortable. Let me get comfortable. They had eaten breakfast at the coffee shop. Myriad seemed awfully pleased with that. For quite some time, she talked loudly inside the train about wanting to have a Halloween festival, without caring that she was attracting the attention of others. Halloween is popular in Europe and America, but people aren't that familiar with it in Japan. The shopping district was colorfully decorated with orange pumpkins. But the costume parades of children demanding sweets and saying "trick or treat" were nowhere in sight. Maria!
親族会議は遊びじゃないのよ。おじい様にお会いするんだからちゃんとしたお洋服じゃないとダメ。
While it wasn't completely full inside the train, it was really packed with almost all the seats occupied by passengers. Maria was making a fuss among them, stomping her feet on the seat while Rosa scowled at her. Rosa had warned her many times to lower her voice, but Maria hadn't obeyed her at all. Once Maria got like this, no matter how much she tried to explain the situation or call her, she wouldn't cease. Before, Rosa used to pamper Maria and give her attention at times like this, but that had probably been a mistake. Surely Maria had gained the mistaken impression that throwing a tantrum long enough would make her mother give up and do what Maria said. Rosa had realized that error with the help of an educational book, and since then, she'd hardened the part of her heart that worked to pamper her beloved daughter. Mutual understanding with Maria had begun to grow weaker and weaker, and she began to get discouraged by her own powerlessness more and more often. Halloween.
あなたにあげるお菓子はありません。さっき朝ごはんを食べたでしょう。お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃう。お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃう。
A stout old woman who was sitting nearby as Maria stopped her feet, picked the candy out of her handbag and held it to Maria. Damn, you know she was reluctant. She probably frowned on her face when she was beginning that candy. Her grimace.
ほらマリア、勝手に人からお菓子をもらっちゃダメでしょ。返しなさい。いいんですよ。元気なお嬢さんですこと。おいくつです？
Maybe there was no malice in the old woman's words. However, Rosa seemed to find that remark extremely humiliating.
マリア、知らない人からお菓子をもらっちゃいけないっていつも言ってるでしょ。おお、これはマリアがもらったの。やだ、マリアの。話しなさい。ママの言うことを聞けっていつも言ってるでしょ。マリアの。
Smack.
その言うのをやめなさいって言ってるでしょ。
Rosa reflexively hit Maria. Violently. In a flash, Maria started crying. Rosa immediately took the candy from Maria's hand and pushed it back towards the dumbfounded old woman sitting next to them. Damn! Look at
うちの
her!
子に勝手にお菓子を与えないでください。ごめんなさい。
Breathing heavily, Rosa once again held that candy out to the old woman. After getting flustered about what she'd say for a few moments, perhaps the old woman realized that her actions may have troubled this parent and child. She accepted the candy back, apologizing. After that, Rosa finally took notice of her surroundings. Her daughter's clothes were all messed up. She was crying, shouting with her nose dripping, eyes bloodshot, cheeks red, passengers staring. Fuck, dude. Fortunately, that pitiful silence didn't last more than a short while. However, it was followed by an even more painful atmosphere as everyone began to whisper. Maria shouted, cried, kicked, stomped her feet, screamed, yelled, shouted, fucking threw her arms up in the air, held a tantrum, did everything in her power to be as annoying as possible, but within reason. Because of fucking Rosa. Come on, Rosa. What's wrong with you? The train stopped. Rosa forcibly pushed Maria out. Maria didn't stop crying. Rosa took her to the end of the platform and hit her cheek again. At the moment she was hit, Maria stopped crying for an instant. Before long, she shouted and cried even more than before. Overwhelmed with emotion, Rosa grabbed the nape of Maria's neck and dragged her, tugging at her hair. Damn, yo! The nape of what?
ママ痛いママ痛い
だからうるさいって言ってんのよ。そのうーをやめなさいって言ってるでしょ。そんなんだからクラスにお友達ができないんでしょ。もっとしっかりしてよ。なんであんたはいつまでも頭の中が幼稚園なのよ。どうしてママの言うことが聞けないの。どうしてどうして。
Those severe words, Rosa hit Maria's cheeks over and over again. The more Maria cried and shouted, the more Rosa hit her. The more Maria was hit, the more intensely she cried and shouted.
そのうーをどうしてやめられないの。あんたがそんなんだから友達ができないのよ。あんたがそんなんだからパパの出張が終わらないのよ。あんたがそんなんだから私が。
お客さんいかがされましたか。
何かご用ですか。
The one who timidly called her was the station attendant. Rosa glared at the attendant with a look that said, "Don't butt into the problems of a mother and child, stranger." Of course, the attendant surely hadn't wanted to get involved either. However, Rosa had been yelling on the platform for a much longer time than she had imagined. Her emotional scolding had led her passengers on the platform to advise the attendant to call out to her. Rosa yelled at the attendant, saying not to worry anymore since they'd be getting out on the next train. And then finally, or rather for the second time, she noticed the passengers on the platform staring at her from a distance. Rosa sweat slightly and felt the breeze make her sweat go cold, tormenting her. Maria still kept on crying, shielding her own head. Of course, if this beating continued, she'd probably keep crying indefinitely. Damn, Rosa. You lashed out. As the terrible heat in Rosa's head faded, she knew she had surrendered her soul to evil again. Rosa fell to her knees and hugged Maria, whose face was all soggy with tears and mucus.
Maria, ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
ママおかえりおかえり。
Finally, Maria had realized that her mother was her mother again. She clung to her mother's body and cried, burying her face in her mother's chest.
悪いママを許して、悪いママを許して。本当にごめんなさい。ママをどうか嫌いにならないで。
マリアは全然平気。ママを嫌いになんかならない。ママはまた悪い魔女に乗り移られていただけ。でもママが帰ってきたから平気。
悪い魔女にママはまた乗り移られていたの。ごめんね。本当にごめんね。
For a long time, the two of them hugged each other, asking for and sharing words of forgiveness. After a while, they calmed down and both went back at the same time. Maria's face and Rosa's face were both deep red after crying their eyes out.
マリアはハロウィンのお祭りがしたいの。
おう。ジョージお兄ちゃんやジェシカお姉ちゃんにかぼちゃマシュマロを見せてあげたかった。
There's a candy they'd been selling near the cashier register at the shop where they'd eaten breakfast. A fancy sweet that had a big orange marshmallow the shape of a jack-o'-lantern attached to the tip of a stick. Maria had wanted it and insistently pestered Rosa for it. Rosa had refused, saying that there was no way she could buy the sweets right after breakfast. But
じゃあ
What
マ
should
リ
we
ア、
do now?
この町に売っているかどうかわからないけど、降りて探してみようか。ママ大好き、愛してる、ありがとう。私もよ、マリア、愛してるわ。
The truth was that they didn't have time to waste loitering around at a stopover station. If they missed the airplane, they'd fall half a day behind schedule. She should have left home with more time to spare, but she'd ended up leaving late after choosing Maria's clothes. Because of that, Rosa had been a bit impatient since the morning. She looked at the clock. They had to get on the next train immediately. But her daughter firmly joined hands with her to go buy the sweet. Their mother, that hand was warm. To Rosa, as she was now, it was more important to renew her bonds with Maria. To her, Maria was not only a beloved daughter, she was everything Rosa had. Fortunately, they could see a big supermarket right in front of the station. They might not be able to find exactly the same sweet, but Maria would probably be happy with a similar one. Besides, Rosa couldn't show up with a face swelled from crying. She must fix her makeup.
あれと全く同じマシュマロは見つからないかもしれないけど、似たようなお菓子があるといいね。それでいとこのみんなを一緒に驚かそうね。ママと一緒に買うお菓子なら何でもいい。
They exited through the turnstiles of the station in this unknown town. Maria walked across the pedestrian crossing together with her mother, chuckling to herself as though she was walking in an amusement park. Both faces were still deep red, but the two of them, mother and child, smiled warmly at each other without any restraint.
Anata, こんなところでどうされたのですか？
君か。何でもない。考え事をするのにここが少し心地よかっただけだ。
今日の準備は全て手配が終わっています。あとはお茶でも飲みながらくつろいで待とうではありませんか。
すまん。君にいつも面倒なことを全て押し付けている。
どうか私をもっと頼ってはいただけませんか。私はあなたの妻です。
無論君にはいつも助けられているし感謝もしている。だからこそ私は私の仕事に専念できる。
分かっています。お仕事のこと、そしてお父様の遺産の話ですね。
君には関係のないことだ。欲深な兄弟たちの腐肉のあさり合いに過ぎん。
大丈夫です。あなた全てうまくいきます。あなたのお仕事がうまくいかなかったことはありません。
Nancy softly cuddled close to Klaus's sword. She complimented Kraus on his hard work, but Natsu knew better than anyone that his work wasn't going well. Kraus's project was something like a seesaw where a large amount of money swings. Big investments can lead to massive payoffs, but like large seesaws, they tend to shake a lot while moving very slowly instead of showing immediate results. At times, it's possible to make further investments so that the seesaw inclines faster toward the side you want. Of course, you'd only do that if you were confident you'd be able to recover all your investments in the not-so-distant future. However, the seesaws Kraus chose never turned out as he would have liked them to. His foresight wasn't wrong, but the times were moving sluggishly. They never managed to catch up with him. For example, think of a literal seesaw placed at a park. It's a really popular item, so there's always someone playing on it. You gotta wait a long time before your turn. Let's say that one day you spotted one of those seesaws that was completely unused, and you raced to grab it first and have it all to yourself. However, unless someone else got on the opposite side of the seesaw, you wouldn't be able to play on it. What if lots of time passed and nobody came on the opposite end? Seesaws are popular, so if you wait long enough, a companion will surely show up. But Kraus noticed something. The weather's getting worse, so nobody's coming outside to play. seesaws are popular, so someone will surely come eventually. If he vacated his place because of the worsening weather, it would certainly be snatched away. And once again, he'd end up longingly gazing from a distance at someone else having fun on the seesaw. On one side of the seesaw, he continued to wait patiently, all alone. That was Krause's project and his current situation.
私にもう少しの勇気と自分の先見性を信じる自信があればいつだって失敗はしなかった。
ええ、そうです。あなたの先見性はいつも間違っていません。あなただけがお父様の才覚を受け継いだのです。他の兄弟たちが誰も受け継がなかった天性のものを受け継がれた。
何？私はそれを信じられず、いつも臆病に自らの事業を畳んできた。なぜ自分を信じることができないのか。自分を信じられない男を誰が信じる？誰も信じない。私はいつも敗者の座るべき椅子に自ら座り、親父にもおふくろにも兄弟たちにも笑われる。私はいつになったらこのコンプレックスから解放されるのだ。いつになったら。
Natsuo was the only one who knew. Only she knew of Krause's anguish. As the eldest son of the Ushiromiya family, he would soon be forced to bear an immense responsibility. He couldn't open his pained heart to anyone, and was always getting compared to his father's great enterprises.
あなたが親族会議に専念できるよう、すべての手配を済ませています。すべて。
すまん。親父殿の件は問題ないかね。
はい。源氏と南條先生は私たちの味方です。あの強欲な兄弟たちを決してお父様には合わせません。
もしもし。はい、合田です。ええ、お任せください。年に一度の大仕事に腕が鳴っております。
I'm just vibing listening to the music.
ええ、ディナーには子牛のステーキを、素晴らしい肉がすでに保冷庫で今夜を待ちわびておりますよ。まかないも今夜はぜひ期待してください。
わかった。任せるのでよろしく頼む。あと熊沢がそちらにいないか。
熊沢さんですか。先ほど見かけましたが、こちらにはおりません。ゲストハウスの方へ準備に行かれたのではないでしょうか。
また油を売っているのか。いや、結構だ。では引き続きよろしく頼む。
ええ、万事この豪太にお任せを。
Genji placed the telephone back on the receiver, sighing lightly. Genji sighed once again, thinking of Kuma-sama, who was probably hiding again even though things were this busy. The ostentatious Skoda, who only felt like doing anything on a day where he could show off.
失礼します。ゲストハウスの各お部屋の準備が整いました。
お嬢様よりお子様方が泊まれるよう4人分の用意をするようにとのご指示を賜りましたが、いかがいたしましょう。
今年は6年ぶりにバトラ様がお見えになるそうだ。
バトラ君、
お嬢様もいとこ4人で夜更かしをされたいのだろう。準備するように。奥様にはお伝えしなくてよい。
The guest house.
そうですね。かしこまりました。
今夜は深夜勤で、そのまま明日は早朝勤か。しんどい2日間になりそうだな。
そういえば台風が直撃するって天気予報で言っていますね。大丈夫でしょうか？
台風がよほどそれない限り、場合によっては親族の皆様方のお帰りの船に響くだろう。親族会議の日程が月曜か火曜あたりまで長引くかもしれない。長丁場になるだろうが、皆くれぐれも粗相のないように頼む。シャノンは焦らぬよう落ち着いて、カノンは愛想よくご挨拶をするように。
はい、注意します。
注意します。
大切なお客様がお越しになられる日だ。くれぐれも粗相がないように。
心
得ています。いつだってここには大切なお客様しか訪れませんから。
カノン、今日は本当の意味で大切なお客様を迎える。心構えを改めるように。
はい。
シャノン、どうした？さっきから何かそわそわしているようだが、何か時間の約束でもあるのか？
いえ、何でもありません。失礼いたしました。
姉さん、今日は大切なお客様がお越しになる日なんだよ。プライベートとは切り離すようにね。
プライベートなんか知りません。
Shannon blushed a bit. She turned her gaze away from the clock. It was about time for the airplane and carrying the family to arrive at Nijima. She tried to hide the fact that her upcoming long-awaited reunion with George was making her heart race. But Cannon, who stood beside her, seemed to see right through her. Patra-kun. And we're back. Almost. Oh yeah, we're definitely back.
シャノン、これを黙って受け取ってくれ。
Just a second. Inside the bathroom stall, George was practicing something over and over, taking out a small velvet box, hid it in his pocket like a quick-draw desert gun.
いや違うな。シャノンは牽引力のある男性が好きなんだ。もっと馬力がある感じじゃないとダメだ。シャノン、これを薬指につけるんだ。命令だよ。ああ、左手とちゃんと言わないと右手にされちゃうかもしれない。いや、シャノンもそこまでかまととじゃないけど、ああ、でも少しは自由意志がないとなんだかその、
As he crossed his arms, muttering, someone knocked on the door. George was snapped back to reality. Up to goes gravity.
Oh, ジョージ君、大丈夫か？腹の調子でも悪いのか？
ルドルフおじさん、大丈夫です。平気です。ご心配は無用です。
そっか。ならいいんだけどな。無理して力みすぎるなよ。尻が切れちまうぜ。
Rudolph washed his hands, laughing cheerfully as he left. George, realizing that the most embarrassing part hadn't been overheard, relaxed and felt extremely relieved.
キリエ、ローザはまだ来ないのか？
まだよ。遅いわね。
天候調整中だからいいようなものを。これで普段通りのダイヤだったらあいつ乗り遅れちまうぜ。そしたらどうする気なんだあいつ。
ローザさんだっていい年の大人よ。なんとかするわ。兄って人はいくつになっても妹を子供扱いなのね。
親父だっていくつになっても子供だけどな。
だと？俺が子供ならおめえは赤ん坊じゃねえか。ほれほれ、バトラちゃん、高い高い。
やめろ、くすぐってやめ。
親子ってより悪ガキ仲間って感じね。ほら、いらしたわよ。
おおおお、ローザさんやないか。マリアちゃん、久しぶりやの。
久しぶり。マリア、お久しぶりですでしょ。言ってごらん。お久しぶりです。
そうや、よく言えたな。ご褒美に飴玉あげような。あれ、どこにしまったんや。
ローザさん、お久しぶりです。マリアちゃんもお久しぶり。
ご無沙汰してます、キリエ姉さん、秀吉兄さんと。あら、バトラ君、大きくなったわね。
いやー今日は会うたびに言われてて恥ずかしいっすよ。
おう、ローザ、遅かったな。飛行機がダイヤ通りだったらギリギリってとこだったぜ。
ごめんなさい、列車の接続がうまくいかなくて。何？また天候調査中なの？
ぼやかないぼやかない。船で6時間も揺られるくらいなら飛行機でほんの30分の方がずっとマシよ。たとえ1時間余計に待たされたって全然早いんだから。
あれがマリアなのか。大きくなったな。成長期か。
前に会ったのは6年前？それは変わるわよ。女は心変わりがあればたった1日でも生まれ変わる生き物よ。
Maria, noticing a big man she didn't recognize. Damn.
おいバトラ、
Barely
挨拶しろい。
fucking
前にやったのが
speak.
3歳の時じゃ。初対面も同じだぞ。
True.
3歳じゃ覚えてねえよな。よ、マリア、久しぶり。大きくなったな。
マリア、バトラお兄ちゃんよ。ルドルフおじさんの息子さん、わかる？おじさんの息子さんが、おじさんが息子さん。
She was obviously on her guard. After all, it was hardly surprising that she'd be scared if a large guy like Badler suddenly started speaking frankly to her. Badler noticed that as well, and thought of various ways that he might approach her. Then he spotted the candy she had in her hand. It was the jack-o'-lantern sweet rolls I'd bought for her.
そっか、10月だからハロウィンか。お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
Normally, trying to snatch a sweet away from a small child will result in them crying and screaming. The adults seemed dubious about Badler's tactics, but Maria looked unexpectedly pleased, her face splitting into a wide grin.
ハロウィン、ハロウィン。ほらママ、バトラもハロウィン知ってる。ほらほら。ほら、バトラお兄ちゃんと呼びなさい。ごめんね、バトラ君。
いやいや、気にしないっすよ。俺はバトラと呼んでくれ。俺もマリアって呼ぶからな。ほらマリア、ハロウィンだぞ。お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
From inside her purse, Maria picked out the jack-o'-lantern sweet similar to the one she had in her hand and presented it to Badler. Badler accepted it. That seemed to be enough to confirm their friendship. The adults were amazed at how good children can be at getting along with each other. Maria had been throwing a tantrum because she wanted a Halloween festival. So Badler, who knew about trick-or-treating, must have felt like an ally. Her defensive posture from before was completely gone. Now she was all cheery as though she had been friends for decades, as though they had been friends for decades.
そうだな。日本じゃハロウィンってマイナーなイベントだよな。仮装行列で練り歩くなんて向こうのニュースではよく見るけど、日本じゃ見たことないぜ。
マリアも仮装したかった。仮装していとこみんなでお菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞってやりたかった。
そっかそっか。今度俺と一緒にやろうな。マリアだったら何の仮装をして練り歩きたい？
魔女ベアトリーチェ。
What? Wait, what? Oh hell no! Well, I was not out like I wasn't falling asleep, but I wasn't in the right headspace. But hold on.
探されたくねえからこんなところにいるんだぜ。どうせみなりは大丈夫かとか、言葉遣いをちゃんとするようにとか、お小言が言いたいだけに違いないぜ。
違いありません。
私はさ、なぜか親族会議の日になるとこの魔女様が気になるんだよ。
ほう、それはまたどうしてでございましょう。
親族会議ってのはじい様に連なる全ての一族老頭が集まる日だ。今年は6年ぶりにバトラも来るそうじゃねえか。そんな感じでさ、何十年かぶりに今までずっと姿を現さなかった親族がひょっこりと現れるんじゃないかっていつも思ってるんだよ。
ほほう、そんな親族がおりますでしょうか。
ベアトリーチェ様だよ。素性は誰も知らない、あるいは大昔のじい様の愛人なのか、その子孫がひょっこりと現れて授けた黄金を返せなんて言い出すかもしれないぜ。
クラウス様たちは親方様の遺産問題で今年も議論されるでしょうから、こうも魔女の黄金の話で盛り上がっては黄金を与えた魔女本人がそろそろおいでになってもおかしくありませんね。
熊沢さんはさ、辞めたり勤めたりと忙しいけど現実は並みに昔からここに出入りしてるわけでしょ。ベアトリーチェのこともっと知ってるんじゃないの？
さてどうでしょうね。思い出そうにもこの老いぼれ、今朝の朝食すらも思い出せませんので。
熊沢さんはいっつもそういう言い方で逃げるけど、何か知ってそうなんだよな。知ってて物陰で笑ってるみたいな陰湿な雰囲気が時々するぜ。
これは手厳しい。隠し事など何もしておりません。私から申し上げられることは、ベアトリーチェ様は黄金の魔女であられて、この島の夜を支配されているもう一人の主人であられるということだけでございます。
じい様の受け売りかよ。給料もらってるとはいえじい様の妄言に付き合うのも大変だな。
ただこれだけは申し上げられます。
何？
六軒島は太古の昔、小豆島と呼ばれて恐れられてきました。小豆は悪食がなまったものと言われ、本当は悪食島と呼ばれていたのだと漁民たちの間では伝えられておりました。
前にも聞いたよ。この辺は暗礁が多くて海難事故が多かったから漁民たちが恐れてむやみに近づかなかったって話だろ。
悪食島には悪霊が住み着いていて、太古の昔から人々の魂を喰らい続けてきました。この島に関わり命を奪われた人間はあまりにも多いのです。
それを旅の修験者だかなんだかが 例の社を作って鎮魂したんで収まったってんじゃなかったっけ？うさんくせえ話だぜ。
その鎮魂の社はこの夏、暗き闇を引き裂く紫色の不気味な雷で打ち砕かれたとか。
熊沢さん、その話好きだな。確かに鎮魂の社が落雷でなくなっちまうなんて不気味だが、まあもともとオンボロだったしな。ちょっと高い波にでもさらわれたんじゃねえのかな。
眠りから目覚めた悪食島の悪霊がベアトリーチェ様を呼び寄せたのです。もしベアトリーチェ様が親族会議に訪れられるようなことがあったなら。
あったなら？
Kumasawa fell silent for a moment. Jessica was pressing her to keep going, so that gap felt strange and eerie. When Kumasawa noticed that she had Jessica plenty scared with her son, she grinned broadly.
はてさて、どんなことになるやら。
Dude, her laugh, bro. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop here. Looks like it's gonna go to an intermission.
へえ、そいつは素敵じゃないかよ。
Yep, okay. I'm gonna pause it. And call it a night. Probably. I'll get tired, man. Oh my god. It's not pausing though. Please pause. Thank you. Alright. Well, was a good session. I think I'm gonna continue later today. I don't think I'm sleeping. No, I'm getting kind of tired. I might sleep, but I should. I think I'll go to sleep. We'll probably continue this later today. So, well,